And we're back. Another week, another episode of the Best of Both Worlds of Wrestling podcast. I am Chris.
An eventful week, an eventful weekend. I am Khalil.
And I guess we gotta just jump into the elephant that trampled through the room earlier this week, and right into the hot tag. Vince McMahon moving waste, of course. Big surprise there, but let me see where my notes at. So I
Let me
believe
just
it
address
was
as you look for your points.
Yeah.
That there's no wrestling podcast out there that is I don't know if they ever thought they'd had to cover something of this magnitude or degree, and ain't none of them comfortable going over any of this stuff. We kind of hinted at it the week before, but
yeah,
the and I don't think we'll go into that much detail either, but it's just a weird place that you put people in. I was listening to 83 Weeks earlier, and Conrad and Eric Bischoff talked about it in good detail, at least from how they felt about things. And Eric Bischoff made a point that I've been thinking the whole time, like, if there's family and stuff that wasn't involved in any of it and didn't have much knowing of a lot of it, it's tough for even their own family and friends to manage,
Yeah. It's
so, Triple H down, like, just people that gotta go home to their families and, like, actually work, but also try to keep people's spirits up, again, assuming that they had nothing to do with any of this stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that they made that distinction, because that's, had I been in that press room, I probably would ask a question like that. How are y'all navigating this as a family, still having to show up to work and perform at an optimal level, assuming you all had nothing to do with it? Because if you did, then all the dominoes have to fall eventually.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
I just want to preface
my comments with that.
Yeah, so I want to say it was on last Monday or Tuesday. Actually, it might have been Wednesday, actually. But the Wall Street Journal released a report. Their court documents being filed that a former employee, Janelle Grant, is suing Vince McMahon because basically for sex trafficking and other vile things. So the long and short of it is that Janelle I don't know if she was his assistant, his personal assistant, but she worked at the headquarters. So she worked at Stanford. So I don't believe she was on the road doing shows and anything like that. But she had a sexual relationship with Vince McMahon. An affair, because Vince was married to Linda, of course. But the things that came out in the document were that I guess the biggest thing was that he would use her as a pawn in negotiations, like sexually. So he would offer her sexual services to other people on behalf of him.
You pass it around.
Yeah. There's things detailing how he defecated on her during, like, when they had sex, and like other weird things. He had dildos named after wrestlers.
That's what that meme was about, I guess. I didn't read that one, but
yeah,
I didn't read that. I read one about how he was like, "Yo, I want her to have 3 black dicks in her," and I'm like, "What?"
Son, wild.
Yeah, but I even see he named dildos after wrestlers.
Yes, allegedly. This is according to her.
Right now, man.
Yeah,
there's no podcast that that gave that detail. I guess they left it for the people to check it out. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
that's
But the most,
I think it's okay in some respects. There's a movement right now not to kink shame nobody, but that's a weird one, man.
Yeah,
I'm cool on that. But go ahead.
But the most damning thing is, like, besides the gross, vile stuff, the most damning thing is that it's alleged that she was used as a pawn to help re-sign a wrestler. Now, people are saying that this wrestler is Brock Lesnar because the way he's described is it was during the year that Brock's contract was up, and that like it was public that he was renegotiated with the WWE. But the language used was that it was a former WWE and UFC champion. So people are saying all fingers point to Brock being
Oh
who it
wow.
is.
Well,
Yeah, and
there's no
so
other. It wasn't. It wasn't Ken Shamrock.
nah. So Vince sent pictures of her to
Wow.
Brock, and allegedly, like Brock replied, like with he likes what he sees, and then Vince told Grant that part of the deal was that you know he gets to fuck, like he's like you going over there and you giving it up to him, and so it was weird. Like he asked for pictures of her urinating. Allegedly, Brock did.
Wait,
And they
Vince asked for that?
no Brock allegedly asked for pictures of her urinating.
Yo, they on some other shit. Okay,
Yeah, the water
okay,
sports thing, and then they were supposed to meet up, but
okay.
it never happened. I think weather or something circumstances happened where they never eventually met up and had sex. But
Yeah, but just the whole premise of it all is damning to
yeah,
this whole thing. So
yeah,
fair
it's
enough.
crazy. And so the internet,
Wow.
word to Paul Wall, was going nuts. Um, like Slim Jim ended up pulling their advertising a couple of days before the
There's some
Rumble.
real G's.
Yeah, and then
There's some
Vince
G's, man.
had to officially step
Resign.
down from the TKO board for them, and then they eventually came back on with the to sponsor the
Dog, I was
Rumble.
watching Royal Rumble, and right before LA Knight came out, they ran the Slim
hmm
Jim commercial.
The one with
I was like, oh, they
Bianca.
back. They are back. They literally
Yeah.
ran it before, like they did people's entrances, right? LA
hmm
Knight was number 3, right before LA.
hmm
So they did Randy and AJ. Then there was a Slim Jim commercial in during the entrances, and then LA Knight came out. It's a trip, man. But
That's,
that's the power of sponsorship,
hmm
and that's how you able to hit people in the pockets when you put the whole company at risk.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And they're publicly
you
traded,
know what's
so they,
funny? I mean,
you know.
this is like sort of a roundabout way of explaining it, but I always tell people like we have a fascination with like the drug kingpin movies and shit like that, and
Yeah.
and there's always a rise and there's always a period when everything is good and opulent, um and people are, and these people who run these organizations, they're always touted as so immensely intelligent and
hmm
meticulous, and they prepare for everything that could go left. But
Yeah.
in my experience, like it does go left at some point, and it always makes me wonder, why do people even try to be certain ways when there's no proof that there's longevity or success in that way? Like now Vince is
hmm
rich, sure, his
Yeah.
legacy is done.
Oh, it's
People are
over.
saying it's akin to like not mentioning Chris Benoit anymore. It's on that level.
hmm
They may
hmm
not, they're not gonna rid the network of all his stuff. Like you're gonna see him, but they're not gonna promote it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
So that's
think
finished. And that just makes
I,
me wonder, like, what is the appeal, y'all? It must be a real power type of thing. Cause it's like you're done. Like your life as whoever you know yourself to be is over now.
mhm. And I think
Mm.
so I think what happened was he was paying her hush. So Linda found out about the affair, and then she signed an NDA. The Grant signed an NDA, and then Vince was paying her hush money. But I believe once the payment stopped, that's when
Yes.
she went forward with pressing the
He
charges.
stepped in it.
Yeah,
Imagine,
yeah,
and this is not to take anything away from that young lady, but imagine someone could be so full of themselves. I'm talking
hmm
about Vince, that he didn't think enough to finish paying off the agreement that was agreed upon. He thought he was
yeah,
that untouchable that he
hmm
could pull something like that. And not to mention the other. I guess the overarching reason why this even became news was because he was using company revenue, not his, not his dividends. Let's say I think that's
Yeah,
probably the right word
not
in this
nothing from
this
the
case. Not his
personal bank
dividends, but
account.
the company out of the company's pot. Feel
Hmm.
me? And using that to make these payments. So that's the first red flag that made people go and investigate. And then we uncover more. They said it's about $13 million that he had taken out to pay
Damn.
people. This woman's agreement was for $3 million, right? So now everybody's doing the math. Well,
Hmm.
one and a half or whatever he paid out of three is still leave about one and a half,
Hmm.
right? But that's still 3 million. That's still 10 million. That's not even accounted for. So
Yeah.
this and there's no telling what how much those agreements are for. So we can't say it's five more people, 10 more people. You could divvy that up into whatever amounts, depending on how much damage this man has done and whether or not he's honored his agreements. Um,
Hmm.
and I will say I'm not ignorant to the fact that at some point that these people agreed to be paid.
Yeah.
But if you don't honor your contract, you should be taken to task,
Yeah.
especially if you are especially if you have the means. You feel me? You can't be talking about we breaking records every week. Then you got it's
I'm
just like
saying,
it's on the lower scale, like someone that owes you money, and you see them go to like Roof Chris. It's like, bro, you owe me $80. What
what you
no
doing? Some
way. And
ribeyes and
so
shit,
this
bro.
is the most humbling experience for this dude. And I hope that no one else that I really mess with was any way
Hmm.
involved in protecting him. You know,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
don't need I don't need Triple H out of creative right now. So I
No.
hope he was a good. I hope he was well standing.
Well, it's funny because I
Bruce
think like
Pritchard
that.
can go.
Yeah, I think the day after John Laurinaitis was let go. So,
Back
which
then,
is
back then when they first dropped that report, yeah,
yeah, yeah, which is funny because he's been hired, fired, hired, fired. But the internet was going crazy. Like they started posting pics of not pics, clips of Stephanie's promos from when she was a GM of SmackDown, talking to how Vince used to do this. You said like, yo, I was 16 years old. You're having me going to dinner with your business partners, and they're like, see, the signs were there. The signs are all there. We saw it. Stephanie's suffering too, and I'm like, yo, this is.
I'll
Whoo.
I'll go as far as even to say this. This is so random, but I ran into this story recently. Right,
Hmm.
I went on a date around the time that this stuff was coming out, where this woman's name was dropping and everything.
Yeah.
Right, and I was explaining to the person I was with about Kadea wasn't in the wrestling or whatever. But then she goes, "Yo, my mom's used to watch Stephanie and Triple H's kids, and for years." And she was like, "Yo," she was like, "I don't care about like the politics and all that stuff that they might be, in connection with, but." She was like, "Yo, they were the sweetest people to my mother." She was like,
Hmm.
Stephanie, Triple H, and their moms. Linda was like the nicest people to her and treated her well and like yeah. I was like, well, and that's a side conversation randomly I'm having in Manhattan.
Yeah.
I'm glad that that's the case. I hope that remains consistent throughout this whole process
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
look, man, it's kind of easy to it's not hard to hate a billionaire or think that it's not hard at all. But these other folks, man, who've been so ingrained in my life, I just hope that they wasn't that grotesque with it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
that maybe that they seem might have would have been happening at some point and said, "Yo, I'm not messing with it. I'm getting out of here," or found ways to distance themselves. Shane has done
Yeah.
that on a bunch of occasions. Stephanie has done that in recent years, and so time will tell,
Yeah.
and truth will be revealed. Hopefully, this whole thing doesn't go to a deposition where we could get even more details.
Oh no, they ain't
They're
gonna let
probably
that
gonna get a
happen.
payout sooner than later.
Yeah. It's gonna
You
be
know,
it's gonna be
and
the Diddy and Cassie situation.
yes, that's a perfect analogy for this. Um, and it doesn't stop anybody else from coming forward if they feel the need to, if they have
Hmm.
grounds to do so, if they
Yeah.
also weren't compensated what they were supposed to get. Um,
Word. And
but yeah, man, we ain't got to stay too long on this, but
not just
this
one more thing. The
is
funny
the it is
thing,
the it's honestly. Hmm.
So Vice has a special. So it came out months ago, but they re-aired it on Saturday, this past Saturday. Um
They've been
it's a
re-airing it every time something drops.
the Vince McMahon joint, right? It's a two
Yeah, they've
hour
been re-airing it every
yeah.
time something drops.
So I DVR'd that. I'm about to watch it and see what's going on with that. But it's honestly when I was
You're
watching
not
some
gonna
of
learn
it,
much new though.
yeah, because I feel like it's just like I already saw that they pulled clips from
It,
episodes of Dark Side of the Ring, so it's not going to be much new information. So,
it's all
but they
stories
were
that you've
slick,
heard. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like they just trying to, get the. I mean, I'm not mad
capitalize,
at it. Look, when you do ugly things in this world, I can't be critical of how people, what dignity people cover you with when you
yeah,
on
yeah,
some wild shit with them. You know what I mean?
moving
So
waist, freaky frog, man,
yeah.
dildos after wrestlers. What?
What I will say, just to conclude this, is like because of its negative nature, we're not really understanding, or we're not really processing. This probably is the biggest wrestling news of our lifetime.
I
you
would
know,
say
and
like
it
right
sucks that
after the
it's a
Benoit
negative
thing.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
yeah,
is it's because of who it involves.
hmm
And you think about, you're looking for consistency with certain things, right? So it's like the standard that he has held people to in his company in the past, missing shows or whatever the wrestlers would have done in the past, where he would have had a short leash for.
hmm
He is now experiencing the short leash, and it's ironic how that works.
Listen,
Anybody,
he's
man.
he's
He
gonna
ain't,
be a
you know,
recluse
mentioned
now.
Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura wanted a union. He was like, bump that. Get out of here. Ultimate Warrior missed some shows, not advocating you miss shows, but low tolerance to that. Bump that. Get out of here.
hmm
Texas Tornado got 1 foot, ain't really doing what he would like him to do in the ring. Up, get out of here. Like, now it's your turn. It's just very ironic. That's what I'll say, man. And
Listen,
I look forward to when we could, I don't want to say rush past this because people need their day to feel vindicated. Those that want to come
hmm
forward, so by all means, they should do that. But I look forward to a day when the Vince stench is a thing of the past, and like
yeah, yeah,
my man Pat McAfee said, we could enjoy this new regime that he said in the beginning of Raw. I think he let that slip,
yeah.
but we could enjoy this new regime. You know what I mean?
McAfee don't follow no scripts, man. But all right, what we got? So it's funny that this story came out, I think, 2 days after The Rock was announced as a news board member for TKO,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he got the trademark and copyright rights to The Rock. So we're gonna see what he's gonna do with that because I think yeah, WWE obviously WWE owned the trademark for a long time, but now that he's got it back in his hands, he's on the board. Um, this is to me, this is just The Rock. The Rock is basically investing in his two first loves. He has, well, it was the XFL, now it's the UFL on the football side, and now he's on the
Wait,
TKO
they
board with
changed
the
the name?
wrestling. Yeah, so they merged with the I think
I
the
thought they
AFL.
merged. But I thought it was still gonna be called XFL.
Nah, they're calling it the UFL now. Yeah, the United
What
Football
what
League.
that stand for?
United Football
Oh,
League. Yeah, got to have that American patriotism spin to it. You know how they do. But yeah, man, The Rock. I don't
well,
know.
there was nothing extreme about XFL anyway.
Yeah, nah. Mm-mm. They it was what I don't even know what it means for The Rock to be on the member of the like. Obviously, outside of generic board member duties, I don't know what it means for him and the WWE specifically. But I mean, it's one foot
Well,
in the door for Roman,
I
and we'll see.
think
Hmm
like the so I think this was, I mean, it's obviously strategic,
hmm
but I think they knew what they were dealing with Vince, and they
hmm
needed someone to hold the spot that Vince was gonna eventually free up. So that's what I think. And I think what
Okay.
Vince was helping to do in some regard was like be the face of like to represent the company during brokering different deals,
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
it be these TV deals or like sort of the agreement they have with like with Dubai and them about like running shows certain places. I think they were using Vince as like, yo, I'm the trusted face. Y'all know me. You know, and he was no longer going to be there. They knew that they had already said from about a year ago that Wall Street Journal had more stuff to drop.
Yeah.
But when you're going to drop things, you got to really drop them strategically. They decided to drop it Royal Rumble weekend, I guess, hoping to like deter, maybe, I don't know, but the machine of the WWE is not, it's not Vince. I mean, there's a lot of the people that work,
Yeah.
and Vince is no
Yeah.
longer like in controlling power. But I think The Rock is there just to be that face, be that familiar face. And I think for him, just to say that he's on the board of $1 billion corporation that is always creating revenue, I think it's a feather in his cap.
Hmm.
And as long as he ain't go touching nobody and doing weird stuff too, then he'll be in good shape. I hope they
Yeah.
vetted him, and you know. So I,
The
th- I
Rock
think that's why
is
he's there.
The Rock is mad squeaky clean. Like as far as celebrities go, like we don't want to say you know everyone isn't perfect, but I feel like the way, especially with the way he moves and how he takes care of his brand, it's a safe investment to have him on the board. And he's like, and I don't know how serious he is with these political quote unquote aspirations, like people telling me to run for president. Like, I hope that's never a thing that'll happen. But
What,
he
like I told my
is.
cousin earlier, man, the bar
Mhm.
is lowered for
Oh
that,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and so it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
it's a very tangible goal if he decides to go that way, because he
Hmm.
don't even have to have much knowledge about how to really work in service of the people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. He'll
So
be
I
a
wouldn't be
figurehead.
surprised if he ever ran. I hope he doesn't. I hope that's not a thing. But people empowered, as we can see by virtue of this story, all
Hmm.
they look for is more power. Like there's never
Yep,
enough power.
yep.
So we'll see.
And so do you think he's gonna be at Mania, especially with like the injuries that have happened?
He
Do you
may he
think that?
may do. I don't think he's gonna have a match at WrestleMania. I think honestly, what I think, yo, because this is loosely what I'm feeling in regards to these solo Sokoa interferences that
Hmm.
have pretty much been happening for about a year straight since like maybe even longer. No, from about a year. No, about 2 years ago. He's been doing this for a minute now.
Yeah,
Like
like
since he
from the point he
debuted at the
debuted.
WrestleMania, I mean at the Royal Rumble,
Hmm.
he's just always in a match. I think The Rock is gonna get in the way of that at this WrestleMania, and
Hmm.
Cody's gonna benefit from that. And I think I think you have more of a Rock Roman situation, maybe going towards SummerSlam.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Um,
You sell a show on that because Mania will sell itself, but you can
yeah,
sell
I know
SummerSlam
that. I
off
know
Rock
that
versus
we're gonna
Roman.
get into a couple of these injuries, but like the team is deep, man. They got a deep
Hmm.
squad.
Nah, they definitely do.
They got a deep
Um,
squad.
so speaking of injuries,
Yeah.
unfortunately, so last week we speculated. Well, we knew Seth Rollins was hurt, but we were speculating on the severity of the injury, and he announced on last week's Raw that he has a torn meniscus. I can't remember if he mentioned any ligaments at all. Do you think? Do you remember?
Yes, a MCL.
Is it a sprain or a tear? I think it's just a sprain.
The tear, it might be a sprain, and the
Yeah.
ligament tear is partial.
Okay. Okay.
So he
So,
has an opportunity to rehab
mhm,
and still make WrestleMania.
yeah, like he'll just be heavily braced up on that knee during WrestleMania to keep it stabilized. So
And
that's optimistic because he was on Raw last night. He I missed the beginning of the promo, so I don't know if he came out first or if Cody came out first. but
I
he
think he
was
came out second from
he
what I've
came
been
out
hearing.
second. Okay,
Yeah.
so Cody was about to declare who he's going to challenge at Mania, and then Seth comes out, and Seth is basically telling him, like, saying it's got to be me because I'm like, this world title that I have is the real world title because I defend it. It's defended every week, every month, as long as I'm physically able. He threw some shots at Roman, saying, why would you want the Hollywood title, the the
Yeah.
the one where Roman's here every other week, every other month, every 6 months. He's always cheating to win. There's like no integrity behind that title. Like, this is our world title. People like me, you, the fans, this is our world title. So basically saying I'm the one you need to challenge at Mania, which
Hmm.
makes me feel more confident that he should be at least 80% to go by Mania. Because I don't think
I mean, I didn't see him come out yesterday, so I don't know like how he was walking, but
yeah,
it looked like it looked. I mean, he was at Royal Rumble that weekend in the
hmm
skybox. I mean, he's getting around.
yeah, yeah,
So I have a great feeling that between now and April, in two
hmm
months,
yeah,
he'll be all right.
yes,
I do think
definitely.
so.
So now
I do think so.
on the other hand, CM Punk, we learned after the Rumble this past weekend, has a torn bicep. Now, I don't know if it's the same bicep he tore when he faced Moxley.
It's the different one. It's a
It's a different one,
right bicep.
right? But okay, so that's good. Like, because you don't want to re-tear it. Like, if it's the same one, that's gonna be something that would never go away. But he, I it sucks because dude just came back, just
Yep.
came back. Like his first like big spot. Like, I don't think he wrestled on a Raw yet. I think the house show was his only
That
match.
was his first match. He had a couple house
Yeah,
show matches, and
and
apparently he tore this thing during like a DDT from Drew.
I
And
guess
then he
I
just
guess what
landed bad on his hands or
yeah,
something.
probably when he was planting to protect himself. It's one of those freak accidents. But yeah,
Yeah,
like he
man.
just came back, dude. Like, we about to be on the road to WrestleMania. Like, it's although I will say,
That's really that's my dude, man.
yeah, I will say this though. I loved Drew talking about he prayed for this. He's like, I'm not a
That was
religious
a
man.
meme. I'm gonna tell you right. The promos are getting crazy with this dude. This dude,
Yo,
not the. It's almost. He said he prayed for it, but it was the whole lead up to it, the whole
yeah,
crescendo. This dude was like,
yeah.
I'm not a spiritual man as of late. And he's like, okay, where's this going? And he's like, but I prayed for this. The crowd was like, oh, that's a low. Oh, that's
I loved it.
disgusting.
I loved it.
That is disgusting.
And it's funnier
Um,
because earlier on Twitter people were like, there's certain accounts who were like celebrating Punk's injury. And so there was this whole like, oh, if you're gonna celebrate wrestler's injury, I'm gonna block you. You people are vile. Da, 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 da. The tribalism is getting out of hand. This elite versus Punk shit is getting out of hand. Da, 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 da.
yeah,
And then for Drew to say that later that night was just ironically hilarious to me. But
that might have been something that they decided to do. Like, yo, let's kind of throw that in there just to
yeah,
sort of give those people something to latch on to. I think Drew, because he's going this way, like you didn't see the last match he had, right? With Sami Zayn, right?
no,
No, right? So last night, I caught the end of it. He had Sami Zayn had him in the corner. He going for the haluva kick, right?
yeah,
So he's running to him for the haluva kick, and Drew McIntyre ducks down and blocks his face like this.
hmm
But as he comes in for the haluva kick, when he does this, of course, Sami Zayn runs into it. It turns into a low blow, hit him in the nuts.
okay,
So Sami Zayn's like,
okay,
"Oh, my nuts," and everybody's like, "Oh, that's a low blow." And he's like, "Yo," he's looking at him like, "Whoa, shit, that's an opening." And he hit him with the claymore,
hmm
and it was a beautiful. I'm like, "Yo, this," because you want to hate him, right? But a
yeah,
great antagonist is like, "Yo, you can connect to why he is the way that he is."
yeah,
Like he
yeah,
never has anything that's not warranted that he's saying,
hmm
and that could be a great character going into WrestleMania. Um, and so yeah,
I just don't know
that's something
where.
else. Those are some of the
Yeah.
injuries.
I don't know who Drew will wrestle, but he'll definitely be at me. I just don't know who he'll wrestle. Maybe, damn, I don't know. I got to think about that. But it's it's crazy because so I see Punk. We're in what, February? About to be February. How long? Because it's weird. Because Punk, I don't know how he was out for a while with the last torn bicep, but I don't know if that was just like all recovery time or recovery time plus extra time. Like he was, because I believe he was fine at one point. They were just waiting for a
I
collision to
remember that
start.
was when he tore that tricep the last time. It was the friggin' brawl out
Yeah,
or brawl in.
yeah.
So that's what added the time. He was chilling for months.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. I can't believe I didn't
Niggas, they
remember
just
that.
had issues with the brawl in business
So I mean, so where do you think he comes back? SummerSlam? Before SummerSlam?
before SummerSlam.
Because you want
But
to,
like in the lead up to it, in the
yeah,
build.
yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. It's crazy to say he'll have like
This is
four
gonna end up
returns in the
being
last 2 years. Like,
I
how many
know.
times you gonna see a CM Punk returns graphic? It's like I feel like I've been.
But this one is not this next return they're gonna make it different because he's gonna come out the blue like after Drew had like decimated somebody
Hmm.
and then you're just gonna hear the music pop pop
Yeah,
and then he's just gonna run out and start beating up Drew. You know, like in like a mercy, like throwing chairs at him, like just bugging. You know what I mean? Like just some brutal
yeah.
shit. I think
Because
that's
you
what they're
got
gonna
to.
do.
If you
And
praying on my downfall, I gotta let you have it, bro. I got to.
you know, and they can still do the Seth thing at another time,
Yeah,
with or
yeah,
without a title, because it
yeah.
doesn't need the
Because
title.
yeah, because their feud is personal. Their feud is
And
personal.
he could just say, you know, I understand when I was here, my main priority was to get at the champion at the time, but you can't say something to that like say something like that to me and like think you're getting away with it and
Yeah,
divert him to Drew for a little while, and they could find a way to get back to Seth.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely,
When the time's right.
definitely.
Um, unfortunately, though, get well to those that's hurt, man. Get
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Um,
I think Shorty from
you got
NXT got the torn ACL.
who's that?
Can Cora Jade? No, it's not Cora Jade. Um, damn, I can't remember because she had just came back, and she had only been back for like a month, if that, and then tore her ACL,
That
and she's
sucks.
out again. So I'm gonna find the name, but yeah, shout out to her. Get well. MJF still out, nursing all them injuries. Kenny Omega with a diverticulitis. It's yeah, it's nasty out here right now, but
Yeah, I was.
companies got the depth to
Yeah,
overcome the injuries. So that
yeah, I'm still very optimistic. I am still very much. I am gonna try to reach out to the press at WWE again for press passes to
mhm.
Mania. If I get press passes, man, I'll be excited as hell.
Just run up on that. It's in Philly. Just run up on them with the little mics that the teenagers be doing their TikTok interviews in the streets with,
Straight up,
and just run up on everybody.
straight up, man. Um,
So on the next thing is on Monday of this week. Well, no, last Monday, I should say.
yes,
The WWE announced their new TV deals that will be happening. Negotiations have been going on for months, but the final result is so starting in 2025, Raw will be moving to Netflix. So no more Raw on TV unless you got a smart TV or your Fire Stick. But it's Raw on Netflix for 10 years, $5 billion.
amazing.
That's a crazy deal. And it's crazy how so we in 2024 and WWE's on Netflix 10
It's
years
gonna be
ago.
worth it to them though, man. Because
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
you know we complain about ratings these days, but if you still have like 2 million people watching,
Hmm.
that's an extra 2 million people gonna be watching Netflix every on one day of the week every week.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So here's
and
the
people that
issue
have
though.
Netflix, they be having it, may not be using it. They're gonna at least use that shit once a
Yeah.
week at the same time. So you know, and then that's gonna make them when that shit is done, they're gonna look for something else to watch probably.
Hmm.
So it's a great investment for them.
So it's crazy. I like, so 2024 is 10 years. It's a 10-year anniversary of the WWE network being created. And it's crazy to see just how like they basically led the forefront in like live online streaming, and then to see
Mm-hmm.
them getting that bag from Netflix, like they set the blueprint. It was like, now y'all gonna pay us for the blueprint we set, and it's crazy, crazy. Well, I think the only issue is that Netflix is kind of shaky when it comes to handling live streaming, because I heard about that Love Island issue. They were live streaming the finale to Love Island, and it like the servers crashed before the show could even start. So we'll see how that
I remember
goes.
that. I
Yeah.
remember that. I remember that.
So
People
they
were
might be,
pissed,
yeah. So they got till 2025, so
but
they'll be able to work
they
that
did
out.
Chris Rock's stand up. I think that went smoothly.
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
I
that
remember the Love Island joint.
no, it didn't. It went smoothly. I thought it started a few minutes late, but it didn't. It was smooth. So that should be that'll be interesting. The other deals
It,
are, go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say, not to worry. Right now the PLEs are still on Peacock, so at least that shit
Yeah,
ain't gonna be
yeah,
messed up.
yeah. And I think
That's
that's
all.
and then Raw, SmackDown is moving from Fox to USA, but that move won't happen until this October. So the Netflix deal starts next year, 2025.
Uh-huh.
SmackDown going to USA. It will start this October, and then NXT is moved from USA to the CW. I'm not sure when
Yeah,
that happens, but it goes to show like SmackDown is still big money, and I think USA. There's rumors that SmackDown might move to Tuesdays, but if SmackDown moves to Tuesdays, that means NXT would have to move to another day, and that's just a whole like shuffling. Like I don't even want to think about what days, what shows could go on, because now people are like, oh, maybe AEW can move Dynamite or Collision to Mondays, and since it'll be that vacuum
they
of
don't.
actual
I'm gonna say
TV.
um, they don't need to worry about going head to head with nobody
No.
until they figure out how they're writing their stories and how they're weaving their stories. Because right now, they're up against a really good ass storytelling juggernaut. So if you ain't got no way or philosophy of really building stories a certain way, stay on your night.
Mhm.
Choose a night that nobody bothering
But I don't think
you.
I don't. Regardless, I don't think they move it to Monday anyway, because the Cons own the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that'll be a conflict of interest, I believe.
Oh,
Because
okay.
yeah, because Monday Night
To
Football
take
is
ratings
yeah,
away potentially from football.
yeah, and that's 6 months of the year. That's
Okay.
5 to 6 months of the year. So you can't just hemorrhage yourself like that for half the year and expect to see some success. So I think if anything, maybe TNA moves Impact to Mondays, but I really don't see anyone trying to take over that slot, honestly. I think it's just going to be left open.
Raw is still gonna be on and it's still gonna be getting
Yeah.
watched. Everybody.
Yeah, but people talk about that segment of people who don't do the streaming, like they only watch analog television.
They
So
will begin to stream.
yeah, I don't know.
That's what's gonna
I
happen.
don't know. I don't know, because you got to
Yo,
remember the
if you
demographics of wrestling fans. They lower on the income scale, so I don't know if they want to pay the premiums for Netflix. And Netflix is talking about not doing any
so
commercial
what they
free
got
service anymore.
if they on the lower income scale,
Hmm.
why they got cable? They could get rid of cable and just pay the $20 for Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's tricky with these streaming services, because because I've seen some things where people are like, they don't want to add another streaming service because they have so many already, and so like Raw being on TV was convenient for them, and then I mean, that makes sense, but
Hey,
like, and it's
it was
not until
convenient for me too.
2025. You know, it's not until 2025. So things may develop to where, you know, you might be able to rewatch, or maybe you won't be able to watch it on Monday. Maybe they'll upload highlights on YouTube Tuesday, so you can, you know, watch as much as you can. But like, this is eventually going to happen. Live sports to streaming was already happening with Amazon having Thursday night football and things of that. YouTube TV, you can watch sports on you like. So this shit was inevitable. But the 10 years, 5 billion, and I don't think people expected it to be Netflix specifically. But then they got that bag.
No, it's going to be something else, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
everyone involved to make that happen. The business of wrestling is growing exponentially more than we could ever imagine. So, shout out to the good people. I'm gonna keep saying that because I don't know how many of them doing weird stuff and naming their
Yeah.
dildos in the
Yeah.
building. Just the good people that's not violating nobody. That's not to
Yeah.
say if people are naming their dildos that they're violating people. So let me make that distinction. You might very well
Hmm.
just be well within your respectful rights, but if you're violating people,
Hmm.
I'm not bigging you up.
Nah. Nah. Fire for that. Boom,
um,
boom. So
moving on. I think
slam
we
of the
both
week.
agree. Um, our, our slam of the week for us was the women's Royal Rumble match.
I'm gonna have I have another
It's
entry.
a
I have
fun
another
match to
entry.
watch. Oh, let's hear it.
I was gonna go. I'm gonna go. From Collision, House of Black had a cage match against FCR and Danny Garcia. That was really really fun. Really good match. Like even the storytelling. House of Black lost because of hubris. It was an elimination six man. So each your full team had to escape. It couldn't just be one member of the team. And so it was down to Daniel Garcia and Malachi Black. And Daniel Garcia got attacked earlier in the night and then got misted during the match. So Malachi's about to walk out, and Daniel Garcia's like, "Why don't you just finish me? Finish me once and for all." Like baiting him to come back in. So he comes back in, he goes for the finish. Daniel ducks it, pile drives him on the steel chair. Boom. He escapes. FTR Danny Garcia win. But it was just a fun match overall. And because AEW doesn't do a lot of cage matches. This might be this outside of the blood and guts match. I think the only other
I'm,
cage match they had was Cody versus damn,
nah,
I forgot who
you
Cody
had that one
faced.
where he did the big moonsault and broke his toe.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker.
Yes. Yes. I forgot
Those
about
those are
that
only two
one.
that come. I think they might have one more. But
Oh,
it looked like they used a different
Young
cage
Bucks
this time.
versus they did use a different cage, but Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers was a cage match. It was for the tag
Okay.
team titles. Yeah, it's when Matt Jackson had the Jordans with the spikes on the bottom and the exploding Jordan and super kicked it with the exploding Jordan.
That was a cage?
Yeah. Yeah, that
Oh,
was in the
okay.
cage. But but yeah,
Okay.
that's my entry before we wax poetic about the women's Royal Rumble.
Man, man, they just had a good rumble. Look,
So many
Naomi came out number
moments.
2. Good to see her back where she
Hmm.
belongs.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
the
Like we knew
crowd
she was
popped
gonna come.
stupid for her.
Hell yeah. That time away definitely
I
helped,
just want to
man.
say we're gonna weave through some of these women in a few, but it's like it's really cool to see, and I wrote about this recently in
Hmm.
some of the work I've been doing with Blavity and like covering some pro wrestling stuff, and
Hmm.
just speaking about how Vince at one time in life did not find black talent to be marketable.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see that you go to a place like St. Petersburg, Florida, this red ass state, and you put a bunch of wrestling fans in there,
Hmm.
and Naomi comes out too, and you have the whole building giving her love. You go later on in the night, Bianca gets love everywhere. You
Yeah.
get Jade popping out, love. You get them all
Crazy.
in the ring, and people are they just they're
Crazy.
it just goes to show, man, like people have such, a myopic view of the world sometimes.
Hmm.
And it's like, yo, if people are really captivating or charismatic and everything, like what, like your own bias is like your own bias in a way, or your
Yeah.
own misinformation is
Hmm.
your own misinformation in a way. But now these black people, they're moving units and they just getting started. So shout out Naomi for sure for her return. That was cool.
Hell yeah. I think one of my favorite moments, being the dork I am, was Jordan Grace,
I know
current TNA
we've
Knockouts
mentioned her in the
champion.
past. It
Yeah.
was great to finally see her in
Yeah.
action. Yes.
Yes. She is. She's the one who I said wrestled who beat Bubba Ray Dudley in TNA. Um but she is, as you can see, she is jizacked, because
Yeah.
she does professional bodybuilding on the side as well.
Hmm.
Um, but to see her and to have her and Naomi have that moment where, like, that was Naomi's last opponent in T. That's who she lost the title to. I think they had I think it was a trilogy. It was definitely two matches because Naomi beat her
Hmm.
at the pay per view, and then Jordan beat her on Naomi's last Impact to win the title. So, but I'm just seeing them, seeing it, and getting to see Jordan Grace interact with Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Oh man, just like it
Did
was
you see
just
her elimination, man? How
yes,
that was like they just doing cool shit.
hell yeah,
The KOD on the apron. It's like, bro, if you're gonna go out,
hmm
go
go out like
out.
that, yeah, yeah.
Like no one's gonna knock you.
Nah, and like I think my favorite, the
That was
reason I love that moment so much is because it shows that Triple H is willing to 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 expand to other American promotions. Because for years, like, it was before AEW, it was TNA was doing everything in their power to try and they couldn't, but they were trying everything in their power to try and beat WWE. And it goes to show how great Scott D'Amore has been since taking over the company. That he's rehabbed the reputation of the company to this point. Shout
hmm
out to Triple H and them for booking them strong, from Nikki. I mean, not Nikki. From Mickey James being in last year's Rumble to Jordan Grace being in this
Then
year's. Like,
year before, I believe she said,
yeah,
but yes,
and just booking them strong enough to, like, have them be respected and have them be accepted by the WWE crowd.
they don't even. And when you think about it, you lose nothing by doing that. When I
No.
saw Jordan Grace in there, it was clear to me that this was a place she can be and probably will be in
Hmm.
some couple years. Number
Yeah, she's
one,
only
so
26, 27.
so it's an investment in that.
Hmm.
You're investing in that, and then
Hmm.
on the other end, which what you also doing is furthering and enriching the brand of the Royal Rumble, because the idea is not I'm here to bring y'all to TNA. That's not the story. The story is I'm
Hmm.
here because the whole idea is if I win, I might get to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Fuck where I
yeah,
am.
yeah.
Fuck where I am. They don't got WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
here to go to
thing.
WrestleMania. That's the only story. I'm here to
Hmm.
go to WrestleMania. And so with that premise, that opens the door for a whole trough of people if they
Yep.
choose to. Because they want to go to, and that's the it's like, damn man, that shit that big a deal. People from outside, and it's been done before in the men's rumbles in the past, but it was done in the past when they didn't have enough guys,
Yeah, yeah,
or they wanted to please the local fans, So
yeah.
they had, one year, they used to have some stuff with the old NWA guard, and
Hmm.
you'll see some NWA talent come over there. But a lot of those people had stints in the WWF already, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but so it was good. It schooled me because I'm not on TNA stuff like that, but
Hmm.
because of you mentioning her name, and I was like, oh, this is the muscle chick. I
Yeah,
was like, okay, and she was in there. She did the damn thing. She looked like she belonged right there.
yeah. She definitely, like,
What
that was the other thing. Like, just seeing her in that WWE ring, it was just like, it did not
seamless.
seem out. Yes, it did not seem out of place at all.
Nope.
Like she definitely belonged. And I
One of
think
my
uh,
favorite moments was Piper Niven coming in
hmm
and Chelsea Green got thrown over and Piper caught her and she
oh
held
yeah,
her for a
yeah.
second and she kind of joked at her and just like, huh, I'm gonna drop it. And she's like, ah! And I just thought that was just mad funny. I just thought like that just shows like they must be real cool.
Oh listen,
Cause that's some shit that you would do just in the house, fucking with
yeah,
people,
just fuck
when
with you.
she's
I'm gonna drop you. I'm gonna drop you.
you
The
know,
fucking
that was
when Chelsea
hilarious.
was
I love that moment.
when she was stuck in the corner, getting squashed by both Naya and Piper.
There was
Like
some
it,
good moments in this
she
thing.
just had she couldn't do it. She couldn't help herself. Like you stuck
She was
between
trying to
two rocks in a hard place.
she was trying to last more than 5 seconds, man.
Hmm
That story in itself was hilarious. Um, our truth running hilarious into the women's rumble. He ain't supposed to be there.
It's like, bro, it's the wrong one, bro.
I
The wrong
mean,
one.
we
And
can
then we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the biggest moment, which was the dual gorilla press, followed by the stare down
it was
between
the
Jade
a storm
and
came,
Bianca. Yeah. And
and then they had a nice little face off again. Two black women in the ring. The place is going like it's. There weren't any louder reactions,
no.
outside of maybe Bailey winning
hmm
the whole night. And maybe Cody winning at the end, but like the
Yeah.
the reactions that the women's rumble got for some of the moments,
Hell yeah.
like what?
I think
The gorilla press joint was amazing. That was so good.
yes. And then
That was so good.
someone mentioned during the face to face how the camera slickly positioned themselves at a low angle so you could get the WrestleMania logo in the background. Like, we know this is what y'all want to
Just
see.
maybe,
Maybe.
maybe, of course,
and then
of
Liv
course.
came
I think
back.
slow burn it, man. Slow burn it. Don't rush it
Yeah.
now. Man, I want them to
Yeah.
be cool in the beginning.
Yeah. That's what I
Like they
want. If
could
they
own the women's tag division.
hell yeah. Yeah, I
You
want
know,
that. I want that.
this is what we wanted, man. Like this is something we was like, yo, like again, the same way we look at Jordan Grace and she stepped. You could see her and be like, oh, she belongs. Bang.
Yeah.
When I first saw Jade in the Shaq match in
hmm
A, I was like, oh, she's leaving.
Yeah.
And when I got to interview her, I really wanted to ask, like, when are you coming? Not if, when. Because,
Like
yo,
some
you see
people
what we
you
got over
just
here?
yeah, it's just like people who you could see that their aura and the way they're carrying themselves, they transcend wrestling. You know what I mean? They're not just gonna be wrestlers. They're gonna be doing TV shows, this, that, and the third. Like look at Bianca and Montez. They got the reality show. You know what I'm saying? Things
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like I can see that for Jade, definitely. And even for Jordan Grace. I think she was on Raw last night too. I think Jordan Grace made an appearance on Raw last night.
Really? I
Yeah, I
gotta look
gotta
that up.
double check, but I think
I
she
was out
did.
last night.
But yeah, and I
Okay.
think did Liv Morgan came back during the Rumble too, right?
Yes, she was number 30.
Yeah,
That was a good moment.
and they had that.
I really liked, I think Tiffany Stratton, who had a good run, I
mhm,
think she got rid of Bianca by pulling her hair on the apron,
that
pulling the
long ass
ponytail.
ponytail
Ooh,
gonna be
now
the
these women, it
demise.
was, people are saying it was a little bit clunky of a rumble, and it was a little clunky, but
Yeah,
the moments trumped the clunking. It was mad fun, son.
son Jade
And
body
the
slamming Nia
eliminations were cool as
Jax,
hell. Like, come on, man.
bro.
Come
Like,
on,
come
son.
on.
Like,
This
it was
this the
they did the damn thing.
yeah. There's the shot of like it's outside of the ring and it's Liv, Bianca, Jade, and I forget who else, but they're all like sitting on the
Like
floor, like
disappointing.
along the back. And I'm like, that's such a cool fucking shot. Like the fucking future of this division just sitting right there. Um, I think Liv was out for a while
That
with the injury,
reminds me.
right?
She had a shoulder issue, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Um, but we got to big up Bailey, man.
Yes,
Before we move on,
the
man, we
eventual
got to
winner.
big up Bailey. I'm so happy for her. I wish
Hmm.
I could tell her to her face. That's one of them ones. Is like, yeah, man, like do it because she's missed out on opportunities because of injury and stuff like that in the past.
Yeah.
She's really gonna have like her moment, and it's like Becky is gonna do what she does at Mania,
Hmm.
but like Charlotte is hurt and Sasha is gone. Like Bailey really gonna get to have,
Her
not to
moment
say
in
that
the
she
sun.
wanted it over anybody,
Yeah.
but it's just weird or interesting how things turn out. Where it's like, man, you really did. You waited. You was a good soldier. You really gonna get your just due now. And with the perfect
Hmm.
character, I love her new theme. I love where her character is right now.
Damage
So
control,
just shout out
man.
to her, man. No, there's
Damage
not a
control.
soul
They
that
on
ain't
it.
happy for this moment that she's gonna have, and the fact
Hmm.
that her story is a actual good story. It's just not on some like I'm the challenger to the title. It's like
Yeah.
she's eventually gonna be deceived or pushed out or whatever, and then we're gonna develop empathy for her.
Hmm.
We kind of already have empathy for her because they already
Yeah.
been doing shaky shit. That's how it is with these girl groups
Yeah.
in real life.
Mean girl shit. They on their mean girl shit.
You feel me? So I'm happy for her. I'm looking forward to whatever they come up with and what the
Hmm.
matches are like. I look forward to that, man. So big up Bailey one time.
Yeah, definitely. What'd you think of the men's rumble? Because I've heard some things.
Nah,
I've
it was
heard,
cool. It was
yeah,
cool. You had Andrade return. That was cool.
yeah,
Um, it's just not as memorable as the women's one. Like I can't come up with as many memorable moments.
yeah.
Um,
So wait,
I did enjoy like the final four. I think
yes, yeah,
uh Gunther, Cody, CM Punk, Drew, I believe.
yeah.
So I
I
enjoyed
think
that,
so.
and I thought the ending was fine. It kind of Punk kind of gave it away at the end, like that he wasn't gonna win because he kept looking at the damn sign. I'm like, bro, focus.
Yo, they
you
were
know,
saying how he was looking gassed, like just like condition wise, it just didn't. He
it
wasn't
doesn't even
looking.
matter. Like you try to
Yeah,
do something, try to do anything. You can simulate things, but when you actually
mhm,
do it, and you're doing it for, he was in there for a minute. Yeah, but I don't think he was gassed. The dude got hurt.
yeah, yeah. Torn
You know what I
bicycle will do
mean?
that to you.
If your knee is hurting you, and you walking on it, you ain't gassed.
Nah, you have a
You're just like,
gait.
ouch.
That's it.
So
Um,
whatever moves he's doing, he probably was moving slower because he was hurt. Like he's
yeah,
not
yeah.
gassed.
But
You know what I mean? Like,
here's
but
an interesting thing. So apparently, Braun Breaker, his spot was originally meant to be for Brock, but
that's what
because the
they're
news
saying.
came
Yep.
out a few days before, they switched, which I'm fine with. I'm. The
Yeah,
more I see
man.
Braun Baker, the more I'm like, yo, that dude might have the best spear in wrestling. But
Yo, he speared somebody on the outside and it looked like it hurt.
yeah, yeah, he
I don't
caught
remember who
someone
he
in the
speared.
midair spear too, and I was like,
Oh,
yeesh. He got them in the sternum with that one. I was like, yeesh.
no, it was pretty violent, man.
Nah,
It was pretty
because
violent.
I can't front him and Corbin together as a team in NXT. I caught some of their match last week. I was like, yo, Corbin is a little reinvigorated now, but yeah, and then people were upset about Pat McAfee. They were like, yo, that spot should have been to someone else. Like, we didn't need any Pat McAfee spot in the Rumble at all. But
I agree with that. I didn't need him in there.
yeah,
I didn't need
but
him
you
in there.
know,
But I'm not. It's not a like. It's not a their rumble wasn't inferior because of that. You know what I mean?
hmm
Um, Women just had a better cohesion of stories and a lot of things just came together really well for them. You got a Jade returned or a debut that people
hmm
have been waiting on for a minute. You've had and then when something is new, then you wonder how that new piece is going to work with all the other pieces. You got Jordan Grace
yeah,
in there
hmm
matching muscle with Ivy Nile and another shorty, I forget her name. And I like Ivy Nile. Just let me put that out there too,
hmm
man. She's cool.
yeah,
She's cool. Like there's so much variance. What I really liked was just seeing all these different. There's all types of people in WWE now, man, and everybody's getting represented. Or even what's the Katana Chance? I
Who?
think she's on that tag team. They just lost the belts.
Oh,
The
it's
Black Shorty.
not Tegan Knox.
No, it's the other show. It's like I forgot the other partner name, but like
She got the
they
lip
like party
piercings and
girl.
everything. She got the dreads, and they do the
Yeah, she got mad tattoos.
yeah.
Like when I
Because
look at her,
I
right?
saw when they won the titles from Chelsea and Piper. I saw that on Raw a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Like her, she not your typical size chick.
Hmm.
Like I like seeing all these different size women, different shades. You know what I mean? Like it's really apparent that like the place is really starting to look more like what the world looked like. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
and there is a lot more opportunity there. So but the men's rumble was cool. I'm not mad at it. I enjoyed the show on like in totality.
yeah,
The men's fatal four way with Roman was cool, but there's no intrigue in his matches because we know he's going to win. The intrigue is
yeah,
now gone, and I think
yeah.
that's what his matches suffer from. The Kevin Owens match was the ending was cool.
Hmm.
Uh, didn't see that coming. I really thought Kevin Owens might have won, but the ref saw the brass knuckles. So you know they
See,
did a good job, man.
you got to do the William Regal. You got to stash the extra pair of brass
Yes,
knuckles in the
yes.
turnbuckle pad, man. Get caught with the first pair. When the ref's throwing it, you get the one. Boom, there you go.
He should have
Simple.
known. He
He
should have
set
known.
the
He's been watching
blueprint.
long enough.
Yeah,
He's been watching
but
long enough.
like basically
But
the
I
biggest
enjoyed the
complaint
show.
with the men's rumble was the pacing. Like they was just. I heard at one point it was there were too many rapid eliminations. So at one point they were just milling about in the ring. And I mean that happens from time to time, but that's not Triple H's fault. That's the agent's fault. Because I'm pretty sure Triple H just
Mm-hmm.
says, this is who wins, and these are the people I want featured. And then the agents, they had to put everything else together. So let's not lay this at Triple H's feet. But
No doubt.
it lets us know that we are on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Any speculation on how that's gonna look?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, shit. As we mentioned in the lead up, I've been on this Punk Seth wave, and
Hmm.
the wind got took out themselves. I don't know who is going to challenge Seth right now. I don't know if Drew is the move because we've seen Drew and Seth already. So how do
Yeah.
you get people interested in that again? I don't know. What I can, something to think about maybe. Will they do? Will Seth still do Mania now, or will they? I guess he still has to want to do it because he's been running with that
Hmm.
title. Probably wants to defend it at Mania.
Yeah, and like
Elimination Chamber, huh?
from the promo he cut with Cody last night, like basically telling Cody, "I'm the one you should challenge, not Brock." He's making it seem like he should be good to go for Mania. So, but then again, it was Cody and Seth when Cody first came into the W. They had that long feud. They had the Hell in a Cell. I don't know what else they can do.
They addressed that too
Yeah,
in well loosely in their promo.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
it'll be a face versus face situation the way they presenting it.
that's not happening though. I
Mm-hmm.
actually think number one, Cody's going to finally win.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bloodline thing needs to take a different turn now. Um, so I think Cody wins. I don't know who Seth is going to face. I think Bailey obviously going to face EO. I
Yeah.
don't really know what's going to happen with the women's. Sorry, the Raw World Title for women. That's a long name for a
Well,
women's world
I
title.
think it's gonna be. I think they're gonna go with Rhea versus Becky, just based on their promo from a couple weeks ago.
Well, what I think then is Bianca and Jade are probably going to cross paths with the Kabuki Warriors at
Hmm.
Elimination Chamber somehow,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
they're gonna end up fighting them women at WrestleMania. And I think in one fell swoop, Damage Control is gonna be left with no gold at the end of WrestleMania.
yeah, I could see
So
that.
right now they on their high horse. Between now and
Hmm.
WrestleMania, they on the high horse. And by the end of WrestleMania, they gonna be left for nothing.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what is gonna happen with the Judgment Day, but I know they should be featured at Mania.
Hmm.
Um, I
I mean, the
do
way
think we might.
they've been teasing a little not dissension, but they might be getting a little bit tired of Rhea being so dominant and bossing around so much. Just a little. Just a
I
little.
think Damien is tired of it more than anybody. I think
Yeah.
Damien is tired of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, I saw that last week. I think I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't got it for JD McDonough at all. That group does not need him.
They trying.
I don't mind him being on the roster,
Hmm.
but I don't still think the group needs him. Like our truth was so right. Like you're not in the Judgment Day, bro.
Yeah.
You're not in it.
It's a comedy spot at this point.
Well, now they jumped our truth out of it last night. They beat him up, so
After he
they
made him
might get
all
more
that
serious
money,
again.
after he made him all that money,
That's how I feel.
that's
That's how I
crazy.
feel. But there's no honor,
Yeah.
no honor among them. So I mean, I think that'll happen. Everything else is up in the air. I hope Carrying Cross new group and Street Profits group. Hopefully
Hmm.
they do something cool at WrestleMania. Um,
A little 4-on-4.
that's really all I got on that front. I don't really know what else is gonna
Oh no,
happen,
3-on-3. I'm
which
bugging.
is a good thing. I'm optimistic for the show.
Yeah, yeah. It's good that it's not predictable. And I mean, sometimes you want it to like not be predictable, but you have in your head you want certain things to happen a certain way. But not knowing what's gonna happen is even better. I think I think it'll be. I don't know. We'll see what happens on SmackDown to see if they actually go with Roman versus Cody because
Mm-hmm.
the way that promo went last night, it looked like Seth kind of got through to Cody, and Cody was maybe seriously considering what Seth said. But
Yeah,
yeah, we'll see how that goes. Like
the
I said, I
man
think it's
want the
gonna be
title his dad never had.
yeah,
Nothing is gonna trump that.
yeah,
I will say this though, that the shots that they had about like the champions in the skybox watching the Rumble,
yeah,
that shit
yeah,
was fire. That shit was fire. So for Cody to be able to point at the WrestleMania sign and turn around and be like, "I'm coming for you, nigga."
yeah.
Oh yeah,
We'll see
that
how
would be
that like
great.
yeah, and I think it's gonna be Rhea versus Becky again. Like I said, I would like to see. I'm wondering what Gunther's gonna do because he'll probably defend the title, the IC title, but against who? And then will it be compelling? Like it has to be, like it just can't be a match. You know what I mean? Because he ran through Kofi last night, whooped his ass last night. Something's crazy. So I don't
If
know
it's not
really what
compelling,
else it's gonna be.
if it's not a compelling opponent, he's just not gonna lose. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all.
And then we'll see what they do with Drew, where they pivot with that. I can see this. Like I've been having a lot of issues with Damian Priest and his briefcase, man. Because it's like this shit is just a prop at this point. I need to know what is happening. Because what is it? Would you have a year to
You have a
cash
year.
in?
You have a
So
year. Yep.
okay, so they're gonna have to really start getting the wheels moving with that because it's just been him losing and Rhea berating him for losing or not getting the opportunity to win. So we'll see where that goes. And then I feel like they always find a place to put like Jake Paul on the card. So we'll see. Maybe him and Mysterio go at it again. Because Ray didn't come back, right? He didn't come back at the Rumble.
Now Ray got to go after my other dude in Legado Fantasma.
Mm. Oh yeah, and then, they got with Andrade being back. They probably throw them all in that mix too. But
Yeah, I think
other
that whole thing, that whole LWO and that all type of thing, I think they're probably gonna do like a 6 man tag or
mhm.
something like that and put
Yeah,
that to bed.
yeah,
But there's also not a lot of intrigue in that. Well, no, if they use Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio, maybe then
hmm
it's more intrigue.
yeah.
Um,
Ooh, that's
so
a
we'll see.
team, man. Dragon Lee. Ooh, I want to see that.
If
Dragon
you
Lee
try to do
versus
that,
Rey
and then
Mysterio with
against,
Rey Mysterio.
I don't know if Escobar and I think Escobar and Andrade did not get along in the men's rumble from what I heard. I don't think I remember seeing them face off. I might have stepped away. But if you
Okay.
put them in a tag team against Mysterio and the other dude, like that's a whole lot of lucha royalty, man. That'll be a good
Yeah.
time.
But you definitely got to get Andrade back with Zelina. You have to. Like, they were money together. So, um, it was weird not hearing Andrade's AEW music, but that's mostly because I love his AEW theme. It's like this badass, like Latin type shit, and I really like. I think it fits him very well. But because and it was cool hearing Jade. I don't know if it was quite the theme, but it was close
Nah,
enough
it's
to her
new, but it don't
AEW
sound
theme.
bad.
Yeah, it was
I
close
like the
enough where you
AW
could.
theme,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I
but I
think that's the
think
one
I'm glad they
downfall.
kept the character intact.
Yeah,
That
WWE
Stormy
overall
thing.
needs to do better with they themes
Yeah.
because it was like they need to get back to the Jim Johnston where you had
You
distinctive
took the
themes
words out my mouth.
that matched the wrestlers and their character. But
That was the one big I guess because they're doing these stadium shows, that's the one big critique I heard above all else is that there were moments people didn't know who was coming out because the
yeah,
theme songs are no longer as distinct as they used to be.
yeah,
And I'm in agreement. Even like Nia Jax, I like her old theme. I don't know what this new thing is. You know,
hell
I
yeah. I'm
like
not like most girls.
Shayna Baszler's old theme. I thought was more distinctive than the joint she got now. Like, you know, you don't always have to change the stuff.
Nah,
You
like
know,
and
a
it's
couple of riffs and loop it, call it
yeah,
a day.
but just like make it
You
tailored
know,
to that wrestler because like when you think about the Attitude Era, everyone, even the jobbers, had music that were connected to their character.
some of their music was some of my favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
The Truth Commission was a fire song. I could think off the top of
Fucking
my head. Steve Blackman had fire songs.
hell yeah. Freaking
You know,
Bob Holly song I
Vader,
loved. Vader, the Headbangers, like they shit like
Sexual
it
Chocolate.
and
Yeah. And you got Mark Henry talking on it. Yeah, right on.
yeah. D'Lo Brown's joint.
D'Lo
You
Brown
looking at
had
the real
two
deal
good themes.
now.
He had a theme, a heel version,
Mm-hmm.
and a phase version. D'Lo Brown's
Hell
a great
yeah.
example.
I
The
love his theme.
Godfather.
Yes.
Come on,
Yes.
son. Val Venus. I mean, come like it's embarrassment of riches, bro. Oh my
We were
god.
spoiled. But yeah, man. I think we are closing in on that time.
Yeah, man. That's all I got, man. What
Yeah.
a week.
Yes.
What a week.
Yes.
We hope that we ain't got no more wild stuff happening
Mm-mm.
within the next time that in the week that we won't speak to you all.
Nah, let's just have
And
it all in ring.
want to reiterate,
Oh,
want to reiterate. Love to go ahead, man.
Mercedes Sasha not coming back at the Rumble are strengthening people's ideas that she might debut at Revolution for AEW, if not before then.
I'm gonna sound like a hater, but Sasha not appearing at the Rumble potentially means she made a big mistake.
We'll see. We'll see.
It don't pay to be a big fish in a little pond. All right.
I don't know.
Come
She might be on
home.
her Kurt Angle and TNA steez. She might be in that mentality right now.
Hey man, we'll see. I'm a watcher. I'm a watcher.
Yeah.
I'm a watcher.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. But yo, man, love to anybody that experienced some horrible atrocities due
Mm-hmm.
to people in power. We thinking of you. We ain't with none of that crap.
Yeah.
And
Nah. We.
we hope we got better news and more fun news and more positive news to start reporting on next week.
Yes. Yes.
But
We're
for
on the
now,
road to
that's all for me.
WrestleMania, the road to Revolution. That's it for me as well, man. It's another episode, Best of Both Worlds podcast. We will be back next week. Chin up, tits out, and Tony Storm.
Watch out for the shoes.
Oh, nah, she was getting more sexually explicit on the low. Talk about getting new room massages and shit now.
All right, I gotta start watching Dynamite, man. I'm
Listen,
missing. I'm losing.
listen. Chin up, tits out, and it's time to get a new room massage. Google it if you don't know what that is, but on a private browser.
Yeah, don't get got like Jason Whitlock
Nah.
later on.